Mr. Cox said. I had a beautiful woman in my life when I was in my early 40s, and I was still deeply unhappy, and I decided to travel around Australia and thinking that I'd find myself on that journey, and eventually I didn't. I was still hiding in this under this cloud, and when I was in my around 42, 43, there was still so much missing for me, and I went to a men's gathering, and which was in Lennox Head, one of the early stages of men's gatherings, and Steve Biddulph was there, and I went there, and I was afraid of men. I'd always felt safe with women, and I'd relied on guidance from them, and then I started to be exposed to these men who were at these gatherings, and they had a zest and a meaning, and they were sincere, and they wanted more as a man, and I never really even called myself a man. And when I'd go to many different workshops, and there'd be a lot of women in them, and when I'd introduce myself, I would say, my name is Gary, and I'm a man, and they would look at me really strangely, because I needed to practice feeling that I was one, and I didn't know how it was to be a man, and so I kept on going to these gatherings and gathering momentum and seeing examples of people around me who I really wanted to be like, or some of the things that I saw in them, I wanted some of that for myself. And so I went to many workshops, and I did some training and trying to understand myself and feel better about myself, and that's what men's work has actually done for me. There's the honesty and the challenges that are very growthful, that take me into places where I can feel better about myself, and this is where the work is for me. I just reiterate, I agree with what Wolfgang was saying, in now that the work is for me is to stay in my heart, to open up. You know, I'm an age now, what else can I do? I need to go into those places where I was fearful of staying open, and I was afraid, and the anxiety that I was unaware of was really affecting me in my relationships. And so the richness, and every time I'm with these men, I get the messages and the information that I need to have, the messages that remind me of the things that I need to evolve into, or to remember the qualities that I have, and not to regress into this state of feeling smaller than, and making myself small, and the propensity to do that. So now it's more about keeping my heart open, and the men that are around me are showing me how to do that. That's it from me.